Welcome back, guys, to some SCPH replay, and this time we are back on Ephemeron. And this is gonna be an exciting one to begin with. TVZ action coming our way, and it's gonna be some familiar players into the scene. First things first, introducing here on the top left, we are gonna have that red Zerg Oreo. Like we said before about the intro process, you twist it, you lick it, you dunk, you get the name going, and you move on to the next one, just like how you would eat an Oreo to begin with. And his opponents, representing the flag right there, right then, SCPH owns PhyNix. Gonna be into the game on a Terran this time. So PhyNix versus Oreo. The thing about Mr. PhyNix, he has really been climbing the charts, as one great Lucio would say, one great DJ would say rather, exposing the name. But yeah, PhyNix, we have seen a number of replays from him that have really high tier opponents to begin with, and hopefully he can keep the tide, keep the momentum going, and lift up his MMR as much as possible. Love to see some real big names actually from the community, and I feel like that is really the crowning moment. It's not about me getting the cast going, but I see you guys really improving, especially with the games. Like maybe the replays are your motivation, but you send me a game and then I compare you from months before and you've gotten so much better. And yeah, maybe one day when we see some names that are familiar to us, celebrity style, maybe that will be just how we can be even better in the scene. We have already an amazing player in Ender, Mr. Gold Medalist himself, having, you know, the biggest, like you would honestly say, like, let me just interject real this quick. This isn't like the biggest secret, but if you heard before from the SEA Games, if Filipino athletes are able to actually win out a medal position, they get a lot of rewards from the government, from the sponsor, and getting a gold by yourself, you gotta get them all. You got them all. So I feel like that's already one big tournament W for our boy Ender in that sense, in terms of that earnings, in a sense. And since it's a reward over like a prize, a tournament prize, that means there's less tax involved. So who is the real winner here? It's our athlete, and hopefully we get more opportunities there to host things like that, maybe in a few years' time. But as we get started on the game, you know, production, we already have 2 base here and now for Oreo. But it's just amazing, like, how much money, how much reward our good dear friend was able to get in the first place. And it really just eclipses so many possible things, and it really goes to show, given the proper motivation, we can win the best of the best, and we've proven we are the best of the region. You could say that the cash prize, the rewards was a motivation, but able to represent your country, all of that jazz, is a big notion as well. But yeah, I digress. That was a really long talking points. I had nothing really due to the game, but at the same time, the game had nothing to give us to begin with. The Reaper tried to go for the scouts, and how much addition did PhyNix actually get from that one knows that there are going to be 3 bases coming his way. In the meantime, of course, the main base unscouted, but there's nothing really of note to begin with. So looking at our units here and now, we are going to get 40 drones here from Oreo, looking to play the economy game strong as much as possible. PhyNix in the meantime looking to catch up to base, of course, already ready with a set of Hellions, and trying to find 2 more for our standard opening. And it isn't really about knowing the opening anymore in higher tier games. It's all about being as optimal with the build order as possible. In the meantime, seems like PhyNix gonna be going for a classic trope of his. He likes going into this fusion core pretty early against Zerg and be able to put the punishment, put the pressure along the way. In the meantime though, Roach Warren here and now from Oreo. We'll be trying to make a sandwich of units later on into this one. And in the meantime, what else are we getting? That's to be the BC coming our way. Oreo though has gotten that speed. And as we said before, sometimes a little too early, but oh, you better back. Gonna be able to save all those Hellions to begin with. Beautiful opening there from PhyNix. And like I said before, the thing about that Carapace nerf in a sense the Carapace resource increase, it really is a big hamper to begin with. It just means that you are going to be having less gas for roaches, and that is 2 roaches difference, honestly, in the early game. Sometimes you don't even have that gas going after the metabolic boost, so it really puts a little more strain onto the Zerg for that extra intel. But I digress, it really is information wars, especially when you get higher and higher. You need to be on point, you need to know exactly what's coming. And Oreo actually caught off guard there. He was able to get the Spore Crawler eventually, but by the point in time it was too late, and he lost 10 drones for his mistake. Small mistakes turn into big things, and in the meantime, the Hellions have already evacuated. We will see a tactic jump here and now from PhyNix at the corner of the map. Spore Crawler though in position, the Queens are not there. Patrolling Zerglings trying to tank up some damage. Here we do see the BC moving around, and it's gonna be a 2-prong attack. Seems like PhyNix putting in the pressure twofold. Looking for this round already, going away from the Queen. Instead, on the drone line it goes, but the medevac will go down. It's a one-way trip here for PhyNix. And before the fight even starts on the ground, it was already completely stopped by the opposition. And this is a beautiful looking battlecruiser, guys. That's all I have to say about this. It's so shiny, but it seems like the spines are fueling the fire, looking to pierce as much of that DPS going. Still, though, the Queen gonna get burnt on up instead. And in the meantime, in the front line, the Hellion Reaper squad gonna be trying to go for the poke onto that natural. Pressure being applied here from PhyNix. Oreo is in a high economy state, so he will have to maximize all his army supply to defend this as much as possible, because PhyNix is hampering on, putting in the pressure, and it really is a hammer slamming into a nail as much as possible. The wood though of Oreo able to hold steadfast so far. Beautiful positioning there for the Queen, taking that ramp, getting in the way. And in the end, Oreo still in the lead in terms of that work count, but albeit barely. So right here, right now, PhyNix is gonna be trying to keep up with the economy. Mules, of course, gonna be a good mitigator of that. Missile turrets to just fend off this pesky Overlord to begin with. And right here, right now, Hellions being sent in yet again. We are gonna get lock on though. We are gonna get that Cyclone upgrade though, rather, from the tech lab, as well as some blue flame. So into mech play we go from PhyNix. We said it before, he really is the master of mech in terms of the PH scene. He really loves mech play. He came into the game with some early mech play. We've seen him bio before. It's not really the best. At least he can go for the transition there if he needs to. But when going gets tough and you need to find a build that makes you tougher, it really is all about these hot wheels flying in and around. In the meantime though, Corruptors here and now from Oreo. And I like the restraint here from Oreo. It's not as many like that previous game we had from Paul. He knows that the Corruptors can't do as much as you would like. And these things are pretty cost effective. They're quite armored, they're quite tanky. They can look to fend off the BC to begin with. In the meantime, PhyNix just going for a strafing run, getting as much damage going, tactical jump to get on away. And I do love that 1 second self-stun. It makes it so balanced. It makes it so that you can't really come at the pre-sipe. You have to be a little earlier on your tactical jumps. And that is more time for you to try and survive against the battlecruiser onslaught. In the meantime though, Hellions of course being pesky, really trying to prevent this fort base from going on. And in the meantime, we are still seeing our boy Oreo here try to expand, try to get more and more units and economy going as much as possible. In the meantime, it seems like PhyNix is fortifying Bunker Hill as much as possible, going into 3-base scenario, but look at how it's defensive, look how safe this is for our Terran player. In the meantime though, BC's yet again looking to bully these Overlords, and it seems like Terrans really just hate Overlords to begin with. Try to pop the balloons as much as possible, but Oreo in the meantime has already invested all the resources he needs to keep a steady flow of supply going. Still though, big hamper there, and then minerals not going into the army as well as the drones. Oreo though, gonna be evening things up in terms of that army ahead on that worker. So the Zerg should be looking to be in a pretty stable spot so far. In the meantime though, the scans do come yet again. Here we go with the lock-ons, looking to deal with the Overlord Cloud. And it seems like it is going to be Cumulonimbus going to Cumulo nothing there. The Roach giving chase, but still the supply block from onto Oreo rather. PhyNix really hating so much on here. Corruptors right now, almost the dozen. But I feel like this is a good number to really put a stop to any of the antics that PhyNix is going for. In the meantime, good bait and switch here and now from our blue Terran. He is able to zip off creep for some of those roaches and ravagers to try and play in. And the bridgeway really not helping here. Oreo not in the best spot right here, right now. Ravagers now finally getting the momentum, able to go forward to kill onto those Cyclones. And in the end, it is going to be a tug of war, allowing the Zerg to get even closer. So right now, the Corruptors are on Overwatch duty, trying to find out where these battlecruisers are coming from. He knows that it's not going to be a tactical jump anytime soon here and now from PhyNix, because these Corruptors are just still flying on, lock on yet again. Cyclones in a good number. They do some really strong damage against those armored units. And you can see just bursts of Corruptors clouding the judgment and clouding the skies with their viscous goo. So we will have a little bit of a design philosophy change here for Oreo. Gonna be playing into Nidus Network instead. He's really unable to get in terms of that frontline positioning, especially with the Cyclones and the Hellions, always so mobile, always so in position. Any lock-on will put a punishment onto Oreo's squad. Roaches right now trying to go for a one-way trip engagement. Will be able to get a mop-up on so many of these Cyclones to begin with. But right now, it's an army of two. An army surrounded here for our Zerg. In the meantime, Cyclones playing the lock-on game, trying to go for straight runs yet again. And honestly, Oreo knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fight, that is a beautiful call there from our Red Zerg. Sure, he might be losing all of this by the tail end, but in behind all of that, 9 roaches coming our way, 3 Corruptors there as well, and Oreo right here, right now, trying to run away, able to survive with 3 of these stragglers. But still, cost-effective roaches, such a pillar of Zerg gameplay to begin with. In the meantime, in terms of upgrades, of course, have that roach speed. You will also have a +1 on the carapace as well as the range advantage. In the meantime though, workers 74 to 73. PhyNix actually ahead by this point in time. In terms of production though, the Terran has decided to go into some more tech to begin with. A +1 on that range as I said before, +1 on the range's attack. For all y'all don't know what that means. But for now, we'll have a lull in the storm. And this is the parts where I'm telling you about long games, that there really are parts of long games that nothing happens because both sides are looking into the future. Like sure, even the best of the best have these moments. It isn't as long as normal players, but basically they're trying to figure out where exactly and how exactly they're gonna be taking this fight to the next level, because this will be higher tech, of course. You're not gonna have many of your normal strategies anymore by this point in time, because the strats really in StarCraft, the openings, the timings, the build orders, they work out in situations where you want to be as efficient as possible against your opponents. And right now, Oreo gonna be playing the old school meta. Will be pesky. Nidus Worms in and around. Here we go with the locals flying onto the other side, but only 2 swarm hosts. It is just gonna be, you know, it's gonna be pesky. You're gonna be able to get some SCV, sure, but really isn't any kind of imposition. In the meantime though, more swarm hosts are coming our way. Nidus Worms now being littered around the map. And Oreo more than happy to invest some resources onto that, but he will need some more gas along the way. BC's in the meantime going for that Nidus Network. This is going to be a potential snipe here and now. Take care of all the movement here from our Zerg, and subterranean movement isn't going to be in the cards anytime soon. Exactly will jump to get on away. And the Nidus Worms are the only ones there to actually keep things up to begin with. 1 falls already. It's like a subway station without a central area. Right here, right now. So many units here for PhyNix. 117 though to 130. PhyNix at a 73 worker mark. In the meantime, Oreo only on to 70. And usually on Zerg, you want to hit that magic number 80 by the tail end. But since he has so much army to begin with, it is going to be a time for the attack instead. Bile going to be connecting yet again. Corruptors dueling against the battle cruisers. Movement here and now from the Roaches and the Ravagers, trying to get away from the Cyclones. And it's time to get into the front line yet again. Bile now connecting onto the supply depots, looking to just bust down the walls of PhyNix. In the meantime though, Oreo really just keeping up that magic number. 130 army to 70 workers. It really is going to be all about aggression here for Oreo, because in a war of attrition, he might be the one at disadvantage, because when the going gets tough, the Terran can get even tougher. You can always sacrifice those SCVs to go for a number of mules instead and get even more and more army if need be. Right here, right now though, Mule is hampering this 5th base here from our Terran player. We still hear a Nidus Worm screeching in around. In the meantime though, it seems like it's gonna be a gas situation as Oreo looking to run away from the fight already. PhyNix spots out the closest Nidus Worm to him, shutting down that subway station at any point in time. Here we go right here, right now. Stragglers will get caught, and PhyNix gonna be able to mop up all of that mess. Ephemeron getting stained by the blood of the Zuri, and the rocks do tumble on. It really is the might of progress, the might of machinery, knocking on the doorstep of Oreo. But PhyNix getting closer and closer, looking to deal with this fourth base. 6 base scenario here for now for Oreo, but he really isn't able to maximize on. In the meantime though, PhyNix losing so many workers apparently. What went wrong there? Something just blew up in behind. And 47 drones to 32 SCVs, but it has been an investment game here for PhyNix, able to take care of workers. It seems like it's finally the one big burst that Oreo is looking for. And yet again, another Nidus Worm trying to go to that top right corner, defend that 6 base as much as possible. In the meantime, scans keep on coming. It's a noise. It's gonna be satellites twinkling into the skylines. And right here, right now, this reminds me of those old big game hunter games. We're just so much creep spread. We're just so much antics going on. Still though, +2 coming away. Thor is now gonna be the solid transition here from PhyNix. He wants to maximize the amount of supply he can use as well as the quality of it. And Thors have really gotten to a point that they are so scary. Like sure, they are still susceptible to CCs, still susceptible to abilities like Neuroparasites. But right now, Oreo is not ready for any kind of these antics, and the Thors are going to be such brutes. They're bruising for cruising, and they're bruising for a fight right here, right now. Onto the high ground yet again. In the meantime, Swarm Host looking to deal with these SCVs. The PhyNix SCVs, though, defending the Planetary Fortress as much as possible. But you can really see, this is going to be a slow burn here against PhyNix. Sure, he has a lot of army, and the imposition, just the whole gall, the quality of this force is basically unmatched by this point in time. The problem here is, he won't have enough money in the bank to actually build in behind all of this. Scans now keep on coming yet again. Swarm Host in the meantime looking to get in position. And right here, right now, in behind yet again. Here we go with the battle one more time, trying to land on down. The Swarm Host looking to assist. Locus on the left-hand side. But dispenser attack here from Oreo, not gonna be enough. Not enough DPS to stay alive. Not enough DPS to actually take down those big giant robots. And the Japanese were right. Mecha is always better. So hopefully we'll get some solid Gundam episodes, some Gundam series later on into the year. But right here, right now, Oreo in the spot of trouble. We are gonna see some Ravagers yet again. Here we go with the Thors coming closer and closer. But the Bile, actually, it has been a whittled down force that you have to respect. Every single time a Bile connects onto these Thors, onto these siege tanks, that's more and more HP going down. And one more time, Oreo might find the opportunity to just swoop in with a main force to begin with. Locus right now will be looking for that DPS yet again. Bile right here, right now. PhyNix in a spot of trouble, losing a few Thors on the right-hand side. And these Thors are quite low already. And PhyNix losing out in terms of the basic DPS, overall damage. Still though, it's not enough. These Thors still looking unstoppable. It might be Odin's favor right here, right now. High ground still being taken by the Swarm Host. They don't want to go down. They don't have their eggs ready as of yet. Baldo really connecting onto that one siege stack. A lot of anger there. And then, in the meantime, might be finally the opportunity here for Oreo. But PhyNix is fending things off. He has to play the slow burn. It's the only way for him to actually take the advantage in this scenario. He has lost a lot of buildings, so a lot of creep. Finally, though, the Bile doing its magic. In the meantime, here we go with another new Thor, but this one looking brand new and shiny. An absolute greenhorn in this scenario. Bile right here, right now, gonna be taking care of that last veteran. And this Thor, 4 kills, but he knows he has signed up for the wrong job. And PhyNix in such a terrible state in terms of that army count. Still though, the fight is not over yet. Thors, especially when fully upgraded, packs such a huge punch. In the meantime, Oreo will have to commit some resources, some time to rebuild, to replenish, to get more and more eggs going. But in terms of that army supply, 14 roaches, 14 swarm hosts, 7 corruptors, and a whole lot of different support as well. Oreo gonna be playing it safe though. We'll be looking for these outside outposts, take care of as much economy as possible. In the meantime, the corruptor's still here and now, guarding the Nidus Worm, making sure that nothing will snipe this, making sure the swarm host will be safe. But PhyNix has already gone from a point from BCs on to Thor's instead. He knows the Corruptors up in the air will just mitigate any kind of army supply he plays on into the skylines. And right here, right now, we are going to get our second blow. Both sides are trying to play the poking game instead. And let's just talk about that whole engagement so far. So basically, PhyNix had the brute force, he had the numbers, he had the advantage. But I feel like the mistake he made was he didn't really send in these mules to begin with. He was a little too busy trying to defend against the swarm host as well as go for the attack. That third action really costing him. He needed to be able to repair those stores in the field, make sure that they can sustain against the ball to begin with. In the meantime, Oreo playing it so patiently is very, very smartly done by our Zerg player. He knew he can win the war of attrition through the Locust as well as the Bile, and not any number of mules going for the mineral counts will stop it. So by this point in time, here we go yet again, disposable units, always a way to go. Oreo in the meantime staying by the bridge. Storm host might be caught in a bad spot. Barrage right here, right now, getting some DPS going. And overall, this is going to be the Zerg Swarm able to march forward. Roaches right now trying to stay alive. Yeah, will be a retreat instead. It seems like Oreo feeling the pressure already. And I like this adjustment here for PhyNix. He has sent in some normal SCVs as well. He knows that he has been behind in terms of that work count. Might as well put them to use in another shape or form. Still though, oh look at that, oh PhyNix, he's pinging like crazy. He's looking to get more and more mules going because he has expanded in front of his opponent. Might be a little BM, but this is just a lot of moxie here and now from our blue Terran. Coming closer and closer. It's not really blue, it's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful aquamarine. It's not even light blue, it's sky blue, aquamarine. No, it's really teal maybe, you could say. I might be colorblind, but I know my rainbow. This is just such a beautiful cue for liberation for our Terran player, as he is able to fend off another attack yet again. Now by this point in time, I'm asking Oreo, he already has the infestation pit, so why isn't he going for those infestors? Neuroparasites might be such a big help to begin with, especially against those stores. But I get the fear, the siege tanks can be able to get that range advantage to begin with. So we'll see what Oreo is going to be up to. By the 20-minute mark, you can even say by the late 15-minute mark, like past 15 minutes. Going Road Ravager is more of a dead end over anything else. Like, you can keep the SEM going with Road Ravager, but eventually you might want to transition to something else. I'd love to have seen some Broodlords actually from the Corruptors, as well as potentially, yeah, the Infestors, maybe even Ultras. It gets really later. Like, the only point right now here for Oreo keeping Road Ravager is these Ravagers themselves. The Roaches don't really too much, but he is desperate to have a frontline to begin with. He can't frontline the Swarm host, and he can't afford to frontline the Ravagers. So the Roaches are going to be basically a sacrificial lamb, a tool for destruction. In the meantime, a little bit of some mismarker there from Oreo, looking to decide where to actually go on. And in the end, he just gives more units before overtaking anything else to begin with. Right here, right now, though, +2, +1 here for Oreo. That range attack gonna be looking pretty scary. In the meantime, PhyNix having that heavy advantage, +3, +2, making everything tankier, making everything pack an even better punch. I would love to see some smart service though, just to make sure they're able to swap around in any case. But you can really see, as such a low economy state, you can't afford to go for some random upgrades that may or may not help out into the future. 34 workers against 40. We haven't seen too much production actually, as well as resources here from the SCVs, because it's only one base honestly working out for PhyNix. In the meantime, Oreo looking for a funnel, doesn't really get it. He has swapped over to that heavy damage, or what do you call this? Heavy damage loadout, as I was trying to say. And packing a big punch against those Corruptors to begin with. Still though, Bile obliterating 2 of these stores. You really can see Corrosive Bile, such a huge distance throw, able to allow the Zerg to play hit and run poke tactics, not just with Zerglings to begin with. This scenario, slow and steady, wins the race here for Oreo. He still has the advantage in terms of that army count, but is losing out in terms of workers. In the meantime, PhyNix basically on 2 base in this scenario. You can say that Oreo is doing the same, but some of them pretty idle already, and they will be caught in a bad spot. The hit squad gonna be able to see this 4th base up and running. We'll spot out all these workers, and it's time to clean up on the terms of the infestation. Locals though flying on in, and here comes the spot of trouble. Here, Oreo gonna be sending in a few units along the way. Drones actually out in front, looking to protect the brethren, and PhyNix losing everything. This is an opportunity here for Oreo. Miss positioning there from PhyNix. He decided to go for the base, sure, but could have started step, moved on to a safer side. And in the end, oh, question mark there from Oreo. It's gonna be turning into something else here and now. Still though, Battle connecting, Orbital Command in a spot of trouble. And this game really showing that it can turn the tides at any point in this setup. So it has turned into Oreo pushing forward. Opportunity for him to actually win out by just playing the aggressor. ×2 in that army count. But unfortunately, not really producing much in behind. He's quite low in terms of that economy actually. It just means he has already mined out basically all the bases that have hatcheries. Or he will have to make a decision. Will he go for another hatchery just to allow some efficient mining? Or will he go for the all-in by this point in time? He's not going to be able to produce much in behind. And every single time that PhyNix is given a moment's rest, a reprieve, an opportunity for him to build, renew, restart life, country roads, taking him home. Anyway, though, seems like our question has been answered. Or you're gonna go for that hatchery yet again. Creep tumors are spread on out. In the meantime, scans being committed. PhyNix knowing information is key, and knowledge is power in this scenario. Still though, still looking pretty dicey here for PhyNix. He only has 4 of these stores, and not all of them are in position to work together to make the place a little better for the Terran race. In the meantime, Oreo sending in some overlords just to be able to get a scout. The missile turrets will be able to fend that off. Locals in the meantime, slowly but surely trying to go for some supply depots. It seems like Oreo is finding different avenues of attacks, different avenues to mitigate his opponent and cut the supply short. Anyway though, Oreo playing a little afraid. He doesn't want to really commit against all of this by this point in time. He doesn't feel as confident as he should. But the debris can actually be cleaned up. Maybe it will help him out have different avenues of attack. Because by this point in time, PhyNix is just able to buy time enough to actually build in some siege tanks as well. So this will provide some long range cover. Will be very, very effective in supporting the Thors to begin with. Still though, here we go with the land on Dow. Hellbats as well as Thors. Such a potent combination against Wormhosts. And right here, right now, Oreo will have to play it a little more safe. He now realizes that his composition is just not enough to actually go for the aggression. You've seen it, the Swarm Host Locust Brigade unable to get anything done with PhyNix's army in position. And Oreo cannot afford to play the same antics as he did before. It was very smart to get the economic advantage, to get the worker advantage with those 9 swarms. But by this point in time, the Swarm Hosts really have to fight with the army. No more split pushing, I would say, in the MOBA. Battletat now, trying to get some land downs yet again. Here we go with the Locust looking to get in position. Roaches and Ravagers on the right hand side. Hellbats though all the way out in front. And Oreo gonna be sending in those Swarm Hosts. Might be an opportunity here from PhyNix. Not gonna happen, unfortunately. Still though, hatchery being built here and now. Oreo gonna be going for another one. He wants to get that economy going, and a cancel will be pretty instrumental to get that resources back. No, and that is a huge hit. 300 minerals gone to waste in such a low economy state. Oreo in the meantime waiting on for some more locals yet again. Here we go with the Ravagers in behind Caught. Scans right now to get that sight lines. Movement speed pretty even on both ends. No creep whatsoever, so it really is going to be a snail's pace here and now for our Zerg player. Finally though, it's going to be the hollowed ground. It is going to be some saving grace here for Oreo. Good positioning right here, right now, but he's going to be sending in the Swarm Hosts yet again! And this looks really dicey here for Oreo. He's really trying to use these Swarm Hosts as attack to maximize that DPS, to allow the Ravagers to get the balls on. And this is going to be the Roaches and the Ravagers finally having the advantage. A good call there, honestly, from Oreo. And it really makes me, what do you say? It really makes me hold my toes. It is so dangerous. Because Swarm Hosts, sure, can be quite tanky in some formations. But that is really the bread and butter of Oreo's army. And if he loses those, that might be game over. But it pans out for him. The Roaches and the Ravagers able to get enough DPS going in behind. PhyNix trying to decide which target to go on, and with that hesitation, it just wasn't enough DPS to go for. Anyway though, Corruptors right here, right now, wants to go for the Orbital Command. We are going to see shades of the previous game. Corruptors are just so pesky all the time. Still though, here on the top right, another Nidus network is coming online. In terms of that's army yet again. These 9 swarm hosts are really the saving grace here for Oreo. In the meantime, PhyNix having that one lone Thor, and it's brand new, sparkling. It really is gonna be the hero of the Dominion if it is able to lead the charge and keep everyone in a good spot. Still though, 61 army to 29. Things look really dicey here for PhyNix. He has to make a big play. Oreo feeling so confident already. He's actually gonna go for a hit squad scenario. And these 3 roaches will go down. It seems like our Zerg's economy has stabilized to a point. And this is really looking good for him because he is going to be going for that 1k economy mark. He will be spending that gas to get +3 on the ranges. Will make these farm hosts even more efficient. The Locos in the meantime, we're looking to drop on down the bridge over troubled water yet again. Goes for the land already. It's time to go for the work. It's time to go for the approach. And oh my god, why are we pinging so much, PhyNix? What's going on? Or is it Oreo? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway though, still Oreo gonna be looking for that 2, make that 3 base scenario. It's really just 2, honestly. He wants to get as much economy as possible. But last time he set up here, it was pretty punished by PhyNix. This time though, PhyNix still playing on the back foot. After that huge loss here of that army, it really didn't look the same here for our Cyan Terran. By this point in time, Nidus Worm's gonna be littering the battlefield yet again. Spreading creep, spreading pressure, and spreading fear all around. PhyNix though trying to send in a little bit of a spy. It's gonna be 1 SCV army, 1 SCV scouting information there. Still though, beautiful move actually here for PhyNix. He's able to play the kite game strong. Cyclones able to move around with those Hellions. Siege Staff is there as well. And it seems like we have gotten back into the age of the wheels. Who needs a giant fighting robot when you can move around the map? Not really too much actually for Oreo to deal with the Cyclones to begin with, because these things are so mobile, so fast, can move around as much as possible. The Swarm Hosts, as well as the Roaches and Ravagers, will really struggle to begin with to get the chase down on. So PhyNix feeling confident, gonna get some good lockouts on. Roaches, targets, one will go down. Some of them quite low already. Zarmos all the way out in front yet again. That will be one falling on down. Interesting lock on, gonna be onto those eggs. Right now, Oreo and PhyNix playing the tug of war. It really is a campy scenario. Sometimes, guys, in summer camp, you have mud in the middle, and you have a rope on each side. Someone needs to tug, and the other side needs to tug either. Force the opponent to fall into the mud. And this is going to be really the defining pressure here, the defining situation for both of our players. Both sides have been pretty even so far. Overall, it has been the rope moving around in different aspects, in different sides. But right now, this is going to be as even as it gets. Because 5 workers here for PhyNix. Do or die time for our Terran player. If he loses this, he cannot build anything else. Anything substantial. Needs to be careful with the Cyclones to begin with. Oreo in the meantime, not really having the proper composition, but will struggle against all of this. And here we go with the engagement yet again. Beautiful lock-ons here and now from PhyNix. Gonna be playing the kite action, gonna be playing the kite factor. And what Oreo needs to do is he needs to find a way to actually catch these Cyclones by surprise. Catch them mid-transition. Forcing the lock-ons to actually connect onto those Locusts instead. And he does have a few Zerglings along the way. Gets a little more of that scouting information as well as tank things up. Get the lock-on from the Cyclones instead of the Roaches. Right now, Oreo trying to make some more Ravagers along the way. Baal might help out if he's able to predict. This lowers his DPS in a good amount. Could have been an opportunity there for PhyNix to actually get one more pick, but Oreo defending that pretty well. And one more chance here for both of our players. We have PhyNix going on still with the high ground. In the meantime, Ravagers, Roaches, and the Swarm Hosts looking to get some more and more DPS going. 34 minutes in onto this game already. This Nidus Worm might be the next target. Right here, right now. Opportunity, Locust dropping on down. It's just turned into a situation where this is all that's gonna be the action here. One screen, one fight. The bases mean absolutely nothing by this point in time. Meantime, scans coming in yet again. PhyNix gonna be still staying on the high ground. We've seen this before. Deja vu. Finally, the lock-on still connects, and one more swarm home goes down. Slow but steady, wins the race. Every inch, every way to go by this point in time. Command Center actually gonna be getting some action as well. We'll look for that information. Can repair it if it lands down, get a mule ongoing. But in the meantime, Night Swarm again. So a Night Swarm just to hide. Oreo feeling the pressure. And GG well played is called. Oreo will take the win. PhyNix has had enough of that. Seems like it just wasn't gonna pan out anytime soon. And just the worker counts. The worker counts a little too much to handle. Nothing in behind. Can't really produce. In the meantime, Oreo was able to basically slow things down, get all that army going. And what a match there! It turned into a poke fiesta by the tail end. But in the end of all of that, in the end of all of that, that is going to be Oreo taking the W. Whew, what a ridiculously long game. We can really see push and pull, tug of war, all of that jazz. I love the Thor hit squad, but I feel like PhyNix should have supported it a little more. And getting it caught in a bad side, a bad spot, really was the ding-dong doorknob. In the meantime, Oreo, very, very well played. Ravagers to get the ball going as much as possible. Swarm hosts moving around the map, not only sniping workers, but also providing some support against the scary, scary mech army. And a well-deserved win here for Oreo. He had the opportunity to potentially finish this earlier, but he played it more safe. And speaking of safe, look at that, onto the top right. PhyNix, I feel overcommitted, perhaps. And also, it seems like there are some bases to use on the bottom left. I wasn't able to utilize that because of what Oreo can actually bring to the table. Night Swarm Host, just land them down, take care of the SCVs. PhyNix only had one real chance at this, to take care of the top right base and take the W. But to our surprise, Oreo with the well-deserved victory. So that was a game, guys. That was very enjoyable, and I'll see you guys into the next one.